and welcome to a brand new episode of Coming Distractions. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my special co-host this week, James.
Hey, everybody.
All right, guys, we're back. This episode, we're going to talk about the soon-to-be-released new Guy Ritchie film, Wrath of Man, starring Jason Statham. This is their fourth time working together. It's been a long time since Statham has headlined a Guy Ritchie movie, so this is kind of a coming home sort of situation. I'll give you the general premise for this movie, which is a man, Jason Statham's character named Patrick Hill, sees his son gunned down during a robbery of a cash truck, and he goes on this sort of revenge plot, basically, to find out the guys who did this and get back at them. James, you and I both saw this movie. What were your thoughts on it?
I liked quite a bit about it. It's not in my upper echelon of Guy Ritchie movies with Snatch and The Man from U.N.C.L.E., but I enjoyed it quite a bit. It looked good action. I just had a few issues with editing personally. But overall, I thought everybody did well. There's a lot of actors I really enjoy. Like the guy who plays the team leader Bullet from Mindhunter. I can't think of his name.
Holt McCallany.
Yeah. So he's always good to see in things. Josh Hartnett, which is kind of weird. I don't know if he's trying to make his own reconnaissance or whatever.
Yeah, like he keeps popping up in things, and I'm like, oh, that's right. You're still a thing. Like, yeah, good for you.
And this is probably the best I've ever seen him that I can remember. I haven't seen a lot of his new things where he just kind of pops up. I've seen him from time to time, but Josh Hartnett to me is Halloween H2O and 40 Days and 40 Nights, which not great neither.
Yeah, I would agree with you. For me, I was pretty disappointed actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, I'm a huge Guy Ritchie fan. Like, I really am. I thought his last movie, The Gentleman, was awesome. Like, it felt like a return to form for him because he had, like, that bad King Arthur movie that just didn't work. So it's kind of nice to see him get back into what he's best at, right? Which are, like, British gangster films. Which is not the only thing he can do, but, like, that is his wheelhouse. And Guy Ritchie is an auteur. And it's like, you know a Guy Ritchie movie without ever seeing any credits assigned to him, easily. Like, you just know his style. And I felt like there was no Guy Ritchie in this movie. Like, there was very little. What it felt like to me was a standard B Jason Statham movie, which he got his buddy to come and direct, which are better than maybe things like The Mechanic, which I think are like not the greatest of movies. It was certainly better than those, but it didn't feel like a Guy Ritchie movie. And it certainly didn't feel like a Guy Ritchie, Jason Statham movie. Like I was expecting like some like more twists and turns and, like that sort of stuff. Which I guess would be, pretty boilerplate for Ritchie. So maybe he's trying to, do something a little different. So I can respect that. Statham was fine. I mean, he's a badass grumbling dude throughout the whole thing, which is like his thing. The action sequences are good. Like you said, I think they are. I mean, Statham never delivers like half-hearted action sequences. Like he's always kind of given it his all. I mean, since The Transporter, he's always been just that guy. I agree with you. Holt McCallany is always fun to see. Like I like that guy's whole vibe as an actor. Like I just do. And I never really buy him as being quote unquote, except for on Mindhunters, like authentic. Like like it always feels like he is acting, but it's a style of acting that makes like mediocre parts or sort of forgettable parts. He amplifies them, right? Just in his style, right? Where in Mindhunters, he's much more subdued and he's really, really good on that show. Josh Hartnett was fine. It was just kind of funny to see him in it. I guess my biggest disappointment of this movie was that I was looking for a Guy Ritchie movie and what I got was a Jason Statham movie. Yeah. I know that sounds super ironic considering Statham is the lead, but seeing their past work together, I was really hoping for we got The Gentleman and then we got Wrath of Man, like a straight hardcore action movie, but in Ritchie style. I'm like super excited for it. Yeah. And I felt myself, a bit disappointed.
I think part of that can be to the editing, like I said, just because you have these two kind of timelines going on. They're
Yes.
two different groups, and instead of being interwoven, it's like here's a chunk of time with Statham, here's a chunk of time with this other group, and it cuts some of the energy. It's like what's going on with Statham for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point, actually. Yeah, you're right, because there's a lot of, and there's also like there's the big sort of swaths of time that are, you know, like here's what's happening with this other crew and all this other stuff. But then there's also like this was 2 weeks ago, this was 5 hours ago. This, like, they kept jumping back. I was like, wait, whoa. Like I understand what's happening, but I could see that being incredibly confusing to someone who's just kind of casually watching it, being like, wait, is this present time or is this not present time? So, yeah, the editing, I would agree with you. It does stick out as being a bit odd in some places, which again is odd for Ritchie. Like this, it doesn't feel as tight of a script as what I'm used to seeing with him. Like, again, you know, not to keep bringing up another movie, but like The Gentleman was such a very tight movie, and it felt like every little moment of it was paid attention to, so that at the end it culminated to this like crescendo, and it was, you know, it really worked. Where this one felt like all over the place, and then at the end I was kind of like, oh, okay, got it. Like you kind of were giving away, they gave away the store before you even got to the ending. Like you knew exactly what was going to happen.
Do you think they're suffered from too many characters? Because there's Statham with the car group, Statham with another group, then the criminals that he's after, and it's just a lot of time with a lot of different people where you don't really get to experience like the full-on characters at the armored car company.
Yeah, I could totally see that argument. That makes a lot of sense. There is a lot of, because of a lot of jumping around. I would largely agree with that. Which is funny because, again, Ritchie's used to balancing a lot of characters and multiple crews and stuff like that. But I don't know. I'd be interested to find out whether or not, now this is based on a French film called Cash Truck, from 2004. So I'd be interested to know if Ritchie's style doesn't show through because he was more trying to make a version of that versus making his own thing, right? Like his own sort of original stories or largely original stories. And so like, I wonder if that's a problem. I also wonder if when this was shot, like during the pandemic, were there like, did that affect it, right? Like, okay, well, we can't shoot all these people together, so we have to shoot all of these sort of separate things, and maybe they were like shot and then it stopped for a couple of months and then started shooting again. Like, because those things do factor into whether a movie feels cohesive or not, right? Versus a 2-month shooting schedule. So I'd be interested to kind of dig into that and find out, because it definitely feels that way.
Mm-hmm. And then sometimes people just can't leave well enough alone, and you have 8 more months to work on something, so you just keep editing and trying new things, and then it's release time, and this is what you have.
Yeah, like fiddling can be a dangerous thing. Like just editing, you can edit a movie to death in a lot of ways. So I think it's altogether possible that those are the reasons that it just didn't gel well. Now, that being said, I didn't hate the movie. Like I was disappointed. Like, if I have to give it a score to sort of wrap up here, if I had to give it a score, I would probably give it a 2.5. I thought it was like down the line. Like if you like those sort of Jason Statham movies, like The Mechanic, and you know, the plot's not that great, but like the action's pretty good, you know, type of thing. This is a step above that in my opinion, but I wouldn't say it's a huge step above it. And if you really love Guy Ritchie films, I feel like this is definitely in the lower rung of his movies. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not too far ahead of you. 3, maybe 3.5 if I'm in a good mood.
Right.
I think there could be something good here if someone, I don't know, did it chronologically or something. I feel like I like a lot of what's going on. It's just not presented in the best way.
Okay, fair enough. All right, that's all we got for Wrath of Man. Go check that out, and we will see you guys next time.
All right, bye, everybody.
Bye.